Oh, you know what? I got to change my, there we go.
Perfect. We got people rolling on fast and furious here. This is great.
All right, we are ready.
Well, I'm going to share my screen here so that people know that this is an actual webinar. But man, good to see people coming on. Joe, how are you doing today, man?
I am doing excellent, Ryan. I know we've been putting this together for a couple weeks, so I'm really excited to. We literally just put on the final touches, and I'm really excited to share this with our group here, and definitely provide some value, some things that people can implement like right away. This is actionable stuff.
Well, yeah, and what I like is I haven't connected with a marketing person for a webinar like this before, and as we've been talking through this stuff and planning it and putting together all the content and everything, man, it just happens so naturally and easily because the things that we work on the presentation side, just all of the same concepts fit and flow so smoothly into marketing. And really, as we've talked about a lot, and we will talk about today, it's the whole process. So yeah, you just seem like the perfect individual to talk through all this stuff with our audience today.
Yes, our products here on the software end with quotes, and we're on the marketing training end, mostly social media advertising and branding. And our products and services really align in that aspect because with our clients, like they don't just want to work with any old, homeowner or property owner. They want to build their business with intention. They want to build a brand. They want to work with their ideal prospective clients and ideal clients. And same with you. You're showing people through your software and tools how to differentiate, how to stand out, how to create a brand experience. So you're not competing on price. So people are looking at you as a trusted advisor. And I mean, our minds are locked in there. We're aligned. So I think this is perfect.
No, it's going to be great, man. Well, we've got a bunch of stuff to go through just to sort of let people know at the beginning here. We're going to try to make this a bit interactive. So we want you to be able to chat with us through the chat feature. Feel free to put in questions as well. We're going to tackle those as much as we can at the end. But that chat feature we're actually going to use quite a bit because we want to be talking and thinking through some of this stuff. And I ran a similar one to this a month ago or so, and it was fascinating. Some of the things that people brought out and pointed out were really, really interesting. So that'll be part of this, is that we're actually going to try and go through and think practically about this as well, so that we've all got some takeaways from this at the end of the day.
Right on. Yeah, we don't want to do all the work here. We need to, share that workload with everyone. So
yeah, that's perfect. So yes, please feel free to use the chat. We will be monitoring and watching that as we go as well. But other than that, let's dive into it. So Joe, we're talking about how to market like Apple today. And first off, here, let me just move a couple things around here. First off, Joe, who are we?
So I don't know. Who are you? Go ahead. You're first.
Oh, I was pausing to wait for you there, but that's all right. I'll jump in. Yeah. So my name's Ryan. I'm the CEO of a company called SumoQuote. We help contractors build fast, polished, sort of professionally graphic design quotes very, very quickly. I'm also one of the owners of a company called Epic Roofing and Exteriors. So my partners and I own a number of companies together. I ran sales with Epic Roofing for years, and yeah, I've been in this industry for a long, long time. And random fact about me, before that, I owned a denim line, so a blue jeans company, and that's where I got really deep in on the sort of the branding, the customer experience, all that stuff. But very random to go from denim to construction to technology. But that's been my route, and yeah, it's kind of all packaged together really beautifully now in SumoQuote with the stuff we're doing there.
Very cool, Ryan. Yeah, it's cool to see how like different parts of your past come together in SumoQuote today with branding and all that. So I love that. I think that's what makes your product so unique. I'm Joe Hughes.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Oh yeah, Joe Hughes, Contractor Dynamics. Joe, Joseph, whatever, doesn't matter. Started Contractor Dynamics in 2012 after growing up in my family's commercial construction business. I was a sixth generation family member in that business. So for those of you who are a part of family businesses, I totally get that dynamic. had a great experience, learned a ton, got some, some business skills developed there. And I had a passion for, going out on my own, and I had a passion for business and marketing, and combined that passion for marketing with my contracting background and helping to run a construction company of a pretty decent size here in New Jersey and in New York City. So yeah, for the past 9 years, we've been working with contractors. For the past few years, specifically roofing companies. We've really gone headstrong into the roofing industry, where we're 100% dedicated today, and we train companies on how to run content, how to build their brands, how to run ads, how to run their own funnels, how to really build a social media advertising system in their business so they can take control over their brand. A lot of times when companies will outsource their marketing to a Facebook ads person or a marketing company, that company or person just putting out some generic content on their behalf, and it's not really consistent with their brand. It's not really representative of the way that they want to go to market. So we really believe, I passionately believe, that every company should have a system for getting their own customers and building their own brand. And so that's what we do, and we love it. So yeah, right. Just a quick note, just to kind of make that connection. Ryan, you and I met last year, about a year ago. We were kind of on the speaking circuit with Company Cam and a few others, and got to share the stage a little bit, and that's how we got to know each other. So here we are a year later doing this virtually, and really excited.
Yeah, it's the times these days, right? So we got to start connecting in person, which is always enjoyable, and you know what, it's easy to carry that on. So no, this is good. I'm excited for today. Well, Joe, let's dive into it here, man. Why do we pick Apple? What's we're looking at the screen here. We're talking about a company that has really set itself apart and is one of the largest companies and probably the most valuable brand in the world. But what was it specifically that you were thinking and we had talked about with the Apple experience here?
What was I thinking?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we all, most of us have one of these in our pocket. If it's not this, it's a competitor, right? We all have a $1,000 phone in our pockets. We might be on a multi-$1,000 computer right now. We might have AirPods, basically wireless headphones that are 150 or 250 bucks. Like, we own at least one Apple product, most of us, I would say. And I would say with everyone, like, we did not choose Apple because it's the lowest priced product out there. In fact, like, they rarely have any deals or sales or anything like that. We choose Apple for a bunch of different reasons. And what they have is this consistent brand experience that we're going to talk about. Everything from what we see on TV, what we see at the bus stop billboards, what we see on social media, what we see when we go traveling and interact with people, all the way to, like, when we order that device, whether it's on apple.com or at our provider, our wireless phone provider. We get that box, like that box, the way it feels, like the opening, the unpackaging of that. It's an experience, right? It's a thing, like, you look forward to it. And then all the way to the actual user experience of using our device for several hours a day. There's consistency throughout there. And there's more than just, like, I need a tool. This is an emotional connection. This is a thing that's a part of our lives, something that's inseparable from us. So we want to, obviously, we don't have the marketing budgets of Apple, but we want to be able to make those connections with people in our market, so they are choosing us based on some of those other factors other than price. Because the way that we buy products like this is the same way that your prospects are evaluating you and purchasing your services for the most part. So that's what we want to try to emulate with Apple.
Yeah, and I really found it that as a contractor, it seems like we always compare ourselves to other contractors. And so we look around the market and we're like, oh, well, our branding and our experience and what we're doing is better than everyone else in our region. So we must be doing phenomenal. And one of the things I've said is, just because as a company we're doing better than terrible doesn't make us good. Doesn't mean we've created this great or good experience. And I had a bit of a realization a number of years ago where it was first week of December, and our doorbell was ringing almost every night. And in my mind, I'm just like, what is going on? Like, why, right? This was a new experience. This just hasn't happened other years, or this was just very different. And of course, it's Amazon delivering packages every night because we did all our Christmas shopping online as opposed to going in store. And and I sort of had a bit of this realization of like, man, everything is changing out there. And rather than comparing ourselves to other contractors, we need to start comparing ourselves to the companies that are and the industries that are creating these brand experiences, and they're pushing way further and faster than we are in construction typically. So, I mean, even my groceries, I'll tell you, I've got 3 boys, 6 and under, and to go grocery shopping for an hour would be an absolute nightmare when I can just order it online, hit a few buttons, pull up, and they walk it out to my vehicle for me. Like there's these little things that the world is changing around us so quick. As contractors, we need to make sure we're thinking the same way and we're starting to create some of the same processes and standards and really standing out. And technology can help us do that in a powerful way. So yeah, so we'll touch on a bunch of that stuff as we go here today. But as we get going, one of the things, this is where we want to jump into a bit of this brainstorming session. So get on your keyboards, get ready to start thinking through some of this with us. But we're going to talk about what are some of the things that we love to buy and then why. Because we want to start, there are so many things, and there's been some, like I said, in the last one that I ran here, and I'm gonna back out of the presentation, and we're actually going to jot this down. So as people are sharing with us, we're going to be jotting these things down and doing a bit of a whiteboard session right now. So jump in the chat there. What do people love to buy? What is something where the experience is something that really impacts you, and you look forward to buying there? So feel free to jump in the chat as you're going. I'll share one to start here. Somebody said this, I was talking to somebody the other day about this concept, and they said car wash. And it was the most random thing. But the reason they love to buy it is it gives them, the car wash that they go to creates this experience where they've got this scented spray that they spray in their vehicle a couple times, and they always leave a little treat, a little gift in their cup holder. And it's this experience that a car wash of all places has created that's totally random. No, like nobody would think they love to buy a car wash, but that's one of the things that they do. I just saw boats on here.
Yeah, Lauren, boats for sure. Lauren's also saying she loves Canva, which is this tool. So that's a software tool that she loves. Oh,
salon, theme park, skincare. Yeah, these are great.
Vacations, yes. Sign me up. Especially now, this
skincare, clothes. Yeah, these are awesome. So these are the things that we love to buy, right? Why do we love to buy those? What is it about those things that we love to buy? So start digging into that subconscious. Experiences. Yeah, that's great. I see workout, dietary supplements. So I'm expecting why, to feel healthy, to feel good or strong. The theme park. It's the experience again. Yeah, to better ourselves, to fill a need.
Mm-hmm.
Experiences. Colby. I'm also going to say in their memories, those memories of experiences that we've got.
Yep. Colby saying
mental breaks, overpriced coffee. I love it, Pedro. That's awesome. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, guys and guys and girls. That is yeah, really good answers here.
So yeah, so I'm going to jump back into present mode here, and one of the things that we just want us to start to think about is these are things we actually can create in a roofing experience. If we start thinking about the why, what is the feeling, emotion, what do we want people to feel and think throughout that roofing experience? It's going to start right as soon as they see that first ad on your business and right through. So, so Joe, why don't you dig a little deeper on this for us?
Yeah, sure. So think about, like, as I said, we buy Apple products we buy all those products we just talked about, products or services for different reasons. So think about, and this can be difficult, but take off your roofing or contracting hat and put yourself in the shoes of your ideal decision maker, whether it's a homeowner, whether it's a commercial property manager, a commercial building owner, a facilities manager. Who is that decision maker? And what are they really buying from you? Okay, what are the reasons that they purchase your services or products? Maybe it's because you have specific products, like if someone wants a slate roof. I ran this morning and there's this beautiful house on the river that's getting this like awesome new slate roof and everything, probably like $150,000 roof. Like, it's clear that they didn't need that, but that was a product that they wanted. Maybe it's your expertise, but that's usually assumed. It's like if you're a licensed roofing contractor, contracting company, it's assumed that you have expertise in what you do. Hopefully, but we still need to show that, which we'll get into. Is it a low price? Probably not. If you're on this webinar, there's a good chance you're not the low price solution in your market. That is, a place to be if you're Walmart or another commodity driven business, but we're service businesses. Like, no one here wants to sell on low price. Is it a quick fix? Maybe, if it's like, tarping or ice dam or something like that related to these crazy storms we've had recently. But more likely, like we all said in the previous exercise, we're looking for experiences, relationships. We're looking for an end to our problems. We're looking for something that's going to be important to us to help us fulfill our dream. We're looking for a sure thing. Like, we're looking for, we'll pay more to have like a sure thing. If it's, Lauren was talking about food, or a couple other people talking about food and healthy food, we'll buy organic because we have a higher level of certainty that that's going to be good for us. So think about reasons why people buy from you. The experience of having a roof replaced without a whole bunch of hassle and nonsense and scheduling and things like that. Building a relationship with your clients for life, solving your client's real core problem, which we'll get into in a little bit. So think about some of those things. It's mostly not what's on the surface. It goes a little bit deeper than that.
Yeah, no, 100%. People, they buy off of emotion, they justify off of logic, right? It's that concept. And so for us to be thinking about the emotion that we're helping create in a homeowner throughout an entire experience, this is not a natural way for us as contractors to think about this. I recognize that. So hopefully we're all stretching our brains a little bit around this, but yeah, this is the type of thing that we want to do to set ourselves apart and really stand out in a crowded space where it's very difficult to tell contractors apart with this stuff. So we've got a quick example here, Joe. Do you want to walk us through these?
Yeah, I just want to go through, and I'm sharing examples here and throughout the presentation from roofing companies that we work with of, all different types and sizes. So these are things these are examples that I pulled from our clients this week. So here's one on the left, All County Exteriors here in New Jersey. They're showing their GAF products. That's okay, right? But like, the average homeowner, property owner, like, they're not buying shingles. Like, they're buying a solution to their problem. So that can work, but that's not really going to connect with people. Whereas if you look at the example on the right from our friends at Blue Nail Roofing, John Hogan is on the webinar. The before and after, right? The pictures, and Ryan will get into this later in the presentation. Pictures, like, they speak volumes. So people want to visualize, hey, I have this home that looks maybe similar to the before, and then I have this vision for what I want my home to look like. So I mean, the simple before and afters, that's something that we can all do. So that's just going to go so much further than something that, is just a picture of shingles.
Totally. Yeah, no, definitely. It's how do we get away from just because shingles really, we can all, as if there's roofing contractors on here, we can all argue about Owens Corning versus GAF versus Certainty or Atlas or whatever, but the homeowner really doesn't care about that stuff. We want to try and hit the things that they care about. So let's start diving into some of this stuff. So the 5 elements of the perfect experience that we're talking about. So we're going to talk about connecting. We're going to talk about educating, solving, removing risk, and proving. And so these are the things that whether you're selling a product like Apple, or whether you're selling a roof, or whether you're getting a car wash or buying a vacation, these are all things that people are going to want to feel confident about and understand. And so that's why we've picked these things out to really focus on as we go through here today. So that first one, to connect. I really like this this comment in the top corner here, and of course it comes from a Harvard professor, so it must be true. But 95% of purchasing decisions are subconscious. When marketing a product to a consumer, it's most effective to target the subconscious mind. So on the quote side here, on the proposal side here, right? This is where we start looking at why do we do some of these things when we're putting a quote or a proposal together. And Joe's going to talk about the marketing side, and obviously we should be thinking about this for every experience, start to finish on a project. But specifically on a quote, what do? We put the client's house on the cover. This is a place where they've spent Christmases and Thanksgiving and maybe brought home their firstborn or their puppy or whatever home to. This is a place hopefully filled with a lot of happy emotions, and it's their biggest asset. There's all sorts of these positive feelings that we're trying to associate from a homeowner to our quote. Whereas you look at the roofing proposal on the right, and it's emotionless. There's nothing to connect with there at all, or for the homeowner to understand, and you lose a huge opportunity. We think, well, a lot of this should be tied to our salesperson, right? Our salesperson should be connecting to the homeowner. And it's true, they should. That's where we're talking about this consistent brand experience, right? From your website to your marketing pages, to your salesperson, to your vehicles, to your quote, and all the way through. With your quote specifically on connecting at the point of sale here, your salesperson will not always be there 100% of the time when a homeowner is signing off and making that decision of who to go with. Your quote will be there 100% of the time. And so you want to make sure you've got this point when they're making this critical decision of who to go with, which ultimately drives all your revenue. How do you start to connect with the homeowner in a way as they're going through this? So that's a big part of the piece there. We're actually going to jump in and talk a little deeper on this. And again, this is where we want you guys to be thinking with us some here. And I can see Lauren's already started to chat some here, but give us some information. Jump in the chat there again. How do you think you could, throughout the experience, whether it's a website, a landing page, a quote, whatever it is, how do you start to create a subconscious connection with your quote? What are some ideas that people have around creating that subconscious connection? Joe, are you moving that on me there?
Yes, sir.
The beauty of Canva, you can do it all live in real time. Playing on the emotions from a hailstorm. So that subconscious, yeah. How do you connect with emotions in a challenging event? So that's a great one, right? How do we talk about how we can protect their home? So now we start thinking about protecting their family and their possessions.
Christina is saying personalization.
Personalization is a big one. Yeah. And there we go.
Yep.
Yeah, just that that feeling of safety, right?
Yeah, for anyone who studied like the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, like security, safety, protection, that's right there at the foundation.
Yeah, yeah. These are great. Yeah, no, it's there's a lot, and I'm gonna see if I can how fast I can move on the fly here. But I remember I was out. It was after a hailstorm, and I was connecting with these one homeowners. I was doing an inspection, and with that, I was getting that front cover image. And I always told my sales guys, that's the glamour shot. That's the one that you just want to nail because that's the homeowner's house and it's going on the cover. And so as I was lining it up, the family pet walks in front, right? And so the dog walks in front. And so I kneel down and I get a big image of the dog right in front. I almost don't care about the house. And the homeowners, when they saw that thing, they lost their minds. They loved it because it was. So this is one I clipped out of something else, but and it's almost too bad because I think the shot I got was better than this one. But it was they loved it. It was this total connection for them to our quote and to what we were doing. It was awesome. So, but again, it's this. It takes me no extra energy or effort. It doesn't cost me a dime, but it's recognizing that there's this subconscious connection that we want to create, right? So those these can be done in very simple ways, but we got to be thinking about things as we go through. So
Yep, Ryan's mentioning the sales process, the quote, and everything. I see Lauren is a dog lover, it seems like, so we're making that connection with you guys and girls. On the marketing end, we can use, and for those of you that I know and we work with, like I preach this all the time, and it's like make that connection with video. Don't hide behind your logo. Don't hide behind some generic quote. Right? Show who you are. People do business with people. So here's a couple examples. I'm not going to go through them in depth. There's screenshots of different ads and content that some of our clients are running or have run. D&M Roofing, about video here, Soderbergh Roofing out in Colorado. It's the owner, Justin, here at his office. This video is cool. They're talking about how they go the extra mile and do whatever it takes to make their clients happy. And these things, the one on the left is serious. The one here with Justin on the right, Soderbergh, is kind of funny. So you've got to figure out what your kind of company personality is and the way that you want to be perceived in your market, and just try to be consistent with that, right? Like Apple's got a certain, like there's some certain things that you think about when you think about Apple. There's things you think about when you think about Under Armour, right? And how that makes you feel and what you think about Under Armour. So think about how you want to go to market and be consistent with that. A couple other examples here. I mean, hey, we got to use dogs. It's just too easy, right? Accent Roofing down in Georgia, showing off their pups on the job and whatnot, making that connection with their market. And then we've got Indie Roof Company over here, client testimonial. So these are things that you can use in your marketing. You can use in your sales processes. Ryan's going to show you how you can link out from your actual quote to your video testimonials. So your clients, your prospects can see what people are saying about you, which is so powerful. So as much as you can, try to connect, and don't get intimidated if you're not. I need to say this: don't get intimidated if you're not a video whiz or you're shy behind the camera. Like, just get out there. Like Ryan said before, like the bar, or he alluded to, like the bar in the roofing and contracting industry is so low when it comes to content and brand experience that just by doing some of the basics consistently, you can really stand out.
yeah. Okay, so we're on to point number 2 here. Educate. I like this line here. Confusion creates roadblocks and slows the sale. I find sometimes I've talked to contractors that say, "Oh, I want to be seen as the expert, so I want to use lots of words and things almost that they don't understand." So that they're like, "Oh, okay, well, shoot, I don't get that. You're the expert, so okay, well, I trust you then, right?" Um, and I the challenge there is I actually find that typically is going to slow the sale down. The pictures on the right here. This is an inspection I was on in 2016 because I remember the storm that this one was from. So Contractors, we all remember the dates and the storms and how big it was and what area of town and all that stuff, right? But I remember standing on the ground with this homeowner, and I could have said to her, "Oh yeah, there's a dead spot behind your chimney," and which is gonna, I might as well speak French to her, right? And really, and even because on this house, I remember the chimney, she would have been thinking there was a big 2 by 6 foot chimney on the opposite side of the home sticking up through the second story. So this none of this would have made sense to her, right? But I show her pictures like this, and instantly she understands exactly what it is, exactly what the issue is, and why there's a risk there, and how we're going to solve that. So our ability to educate in a very simple, natural, easy way ends up gaining trust and really winning jobs on that. They talk about like, if you look at the words that I used on the right here, right? There's a dead spot behind your chimney. This is an area that allows water to pool. They talk about people's understanding of text, of written word versus visual, about the comprehension being 10 times faster and the retention being 10 times longer. So it's proven that they are going to comprehend it faster and understand it in more detail and better and everything, and that they'll retain it up to 10 times longer as well. So when they're trying to explain it to their spouse, they can explain this image because they've seen it. Now they could actually explain that far easier in layman's term to their spouse, where if they just read the words, they wouldn't have a clue what they were talking about and what was going on. And so you want to become that trusted advisor. You want to educate, you want to break down those walls and barriers holding people back from being able to sign with you. But educating is something you do in every step again, right? Your landing pages, your website, at every point you got to think about, as a homeowner, what do they need to be educated on in this example? In a quote, you can just be far more specific. You know, you can get into a level of detail you can't in the others, but education is a massively critical tool as you go through this entire thing. So last time, we're going to do one more time here where we're going to go through this. We're going to talk about this because there's some different, you're going to educate differently depending on the type of project. And so I've broken out 3 here, and let's get people to chat through this again and think about your business. And again, we want you to have takeaways on this. We want this to be practical for you. So I've put examples in here of, on a retail job, we might be educating on the product. Then maybe they had streaks on the roof. And so we're trying to educate them on how they can get rid of that. For insurance, I'm suggesting one of the things you might educate them on is the confusion around the quote itself. Using Xactimate, it is so poor at actually letting a homeowner know what's going on, versus a large job. Maybe there's case studies. If you're bidding a $2 million hardy job, you might be putting together a case study on another type of hardy job that you've done work on, and explaining the timeline, the engineers, the consultants, how you executed on this flawlessly, and so that you're gaining that trust. So what are some things that you guys think you could educate people on at a different stage in the process here for these different stages? What types of things might you want to educate people on? And again, this isn't just limited to at the point of a quote, but throughout, what types of things would you educate them on throughout their entire experience with you? So I saw ice dams. That's, I'm sure a lot of people are educating on that one right now.
How about Ryan? How about how long a roof's supposed to last?
Yeah, totally. Average life of roof. Well, and that's going to be both explaining for the new product going on and the old product coming off, why it needs to come off now. Decking, wood rot, yeah. And I'm going to put that in because a lot of times you're talking to the adjuster about that as well. I'm going to put that in insurance. So you might be educating the adjuster in that case, not just the homeowner. Where leaks occur, I saw in there. Energy savings, yeah, these are, and those might be, you know, upselling on insurance if there's talking about metal roofs with that one. Right, you try and upsell from an asphalt roof to a metal roof on an insurance job potentially. Venting, ventilation. Yeah, it goes hand in hand with ice damming right now. So cleanup process. That's, you know what, it's funny. The cleanup process, like that is one of the biggest things that homeowners get frustrated on in any job period. Like it's communication and it's cleanup. It's almost like if you can nail those two, you'll be the greatest contractor in the world, whether you know how to put a shingle on straight or not. So,
Call people back, clean up, and show up on time.
right? Yeah. Um, Large jobs, I'm going to put safety in there because when you're dealing with a multifamily, it's a totally different safety process, and you've got to have a better plan in place. And if you can educate on that stuff and give them confidence, you now increase your odds of winning that job. And those are big jobs. So, yeah, these are great. So, thank you guys. Okay, I'm going to jump just to keep us going. I'm going to jump back in here. And we're gonna keep pushing through on educating here, Joe.
Yep. So Ryan's talking about providing some education at the point of the quote. And we also want to provide that value in advance because the end goal is that we want people to see us as a trusted advisor. So if my roofing company is going to go out and educate my market on how to make intelligent decisions about repairing, replacing, preserving their roof, protecting their roof, and Ryan's company is not going to do any of that, then people are going to see me as a trusted advisor. And we're going to get those people that appreciate that value because we provided that value in advance. One way I like to think about this is like you're charging, say, 12K would be the average residential roof replacement in the US, give or take, I believe. So can you provide maybe not $12,000 worth of value in advance, but can you provide some value in advance that makes that sales process a lot easier because people want to work with you and not just any old roofing contractor in your market or any contractor for that matter. So every piece of content in marketing and really in sales as well should have a takeaway. So this is a tool that I use in mentally when I post, and what we kind of train our clients on is like every time you post something, whether it's a picture, a video, a text, like think about the value that someone is going to get from that, right? I'm going to share this piece of content with my market. Are people going to be educated, after consuming that content? Are they going to be maybe inspired, motivated, feeling more confident, feeling more empowered to make decisions? What is it that people are going to take away from this? Because it's free for us to put out that content a lot of times. It's free for people to consume that content, but people are investing their energy and their time. Certainly if it's a video, they're going to invest a couple of minutes of their life to watch that video. Like, what's the takeaway? And that ensures that this bottom point, marketing is about our market, right? It's not about us. And it's so easy, especially when we start putting out content, right? This Joe guy is talking about putting out content all the time. I'm going to do it. The easiest thing to do is talk about ourselves. Like we all love talking about ourselves, but we got to realize that especially if no one knows who we are, they don't care what we have to say, right? Everyone wants to know what's in it for me. That's the big acronym WIIFM. What's in it for me? So our content needs to be about our market. And then think about it this way: a lot of us, especially contractors, are guilty of like always trying to promote and put our call to action in there. If you can hold back on that and try to provide education that's going to be valuable to people, whether they choose you or not, then over the long run, you're going to build up so much equity in your market. You're going to build up so much kind of good karma, and you're going to attract those people that want to work with you. Maybe not today, maybe not next month, but when they're ready, they're going to see you as that trusted advisor. So that's what we're talking about here: educating your market on how to evaluate their different options. Right? We live and breathe roofing every day, or you do certainly. But your prospects, homeowners, commercial building managers, they're not thinking about the roof more than a couple of times during their entire life. So like, how can you educate them on how to evaluate that decision which, to you, it's just an asphalt shingle roof, 30 squares, no big deal. But to them, it's a big deal. Even if it's an insurance situation where their responsibility is just their deductible, it's still a big decision, right? So how can you help them make the best decision for them? So that's what we want to, that's the value that we want to provide in advance.
Yeah. Well, and yeah, I hear the value in advance is right here as well, right? It's the whole visual of how you create that value and you make it obvious to give them that. I love the one on the left here. What are you looking for in a contractor? And you're trying to help them understand these are things you should consider. These are important things, right? You should ask for references. You should check their experience and how long they've been in business and how many projects they do a year. Like you should try and dig a bit deeper, and that stuff's available for them.
Absolutely. Yeah. These are just some examples our clients are using. You can have images. You don't have to do video. On the right here, we've got Paul doing a video, how to hire the best contractor in San Antonio. So he's providing, tips to help you make smart decisions. And of course, building himself up and his company up as an authority that you're going to trust because he's providing that value.
Totally.
Couple more here. We've got the roofing center out in Colorado and Utah. What is a specialty roofing contractor, and how do you choose the best one if you have a specialty roofing system? These guys do a lot of stone coated steel, till core, and whatnot. So they are providing some education about that. Over on the right, we've got Bullard Exteriors in Atlanta. Does the roof replacement take a long time? Like a lot of people, they might think like, oh yeah, that's a big project. I get that roof replaced. Like it's going to mess up my lawn. It's summertime. I don't want a big process. But if you explain to them, no, like we can be in and out in a day or two max. It's not a big deal. We do this all the time. Give them that peace of mind that you're not going to interrupt their life. You're going to make their home and their life better, and you're not going to be a big hassle that they might have in their mind. Because again, they're not thinking about this stuff all the time. So let them know how that process works.
Totally. Here, I'm going to skip over. Sorry, excuse me. I'm going to, just for the sake of time, I'm going to jump to our third point here to solve. And Joe, I like how you talked about that whole thing about, what's in it for me, right? About making it, we're so tempted to talk about ourselves all the time, but to make it about the homeowner. And here, when we're talking about solving a problem, we tend to go in it and we tend to have, again, I'm assuming we've got a lot of roofing contractors on this webinar, but we tend to have roofer goggles on, right? We see everything through the lens of a roofer. So when we go there, and this first one of understanding, knowing the problem, we think the problem is a leaky roof, or we think the problem is old shingles. And to a homeowner, that's not the problem that they really have. It's sort of like, oh yeah, like I know my roof's leaking, that's bad, or my shingles need to replace. Duh, thanks, right? Like my problem is, how do I afford to pay for this? My problem is my kid's getting married in 2 weeks and I need to get this done. Like, I left this for too long. Now I need to get this done fast. My problem is the adjuster is denying something and I think it should be included or whatever it is. So for us to really take the time to understand the problem is a big, big part of being able to solve said problem then, right? If we don't understand what the problem is from the homeowner's perspective, then we're not going to be able to really solve that problem. And so once we've got a good understanding, then we can come in with authority because now we are the experts, we do know the situation, and with empathy, because we've spent time getting to know the client and getting to know them and be able to solve that. I took this from somebody that Joe and I, we both really, really like and respect this consultant, this company, but it's Donald Miller with the company Story Brand. If you don't have the book, Building a Story Brand by Donald Miller, buy it, check it out. It's awesome. But this whole scenario, he took this all from the concept of a story, right? That was his background. And he's coming through and he's saying, well, look, you've got this consistent narrative of movies or stories that you go through, right? Where you've got a character with a problem who meets a guide, gives them a plan, and so on. And it almost doesn't matter if it's a movie like Star Wars or if it's, the old Chris Farley classic Tommy Boy, right? It's the same movie, basically. You've got a character, right? Whether it's Luke Skywalker or Chris Farley, who's got a problem. whether they're an orphan, they don't understand the powers of force, and they've got to save the galaxy, or whether they just need to stop a business from going under, who meets a guide, doesn't matter if it's Yoda or David Spade, right? And there's this consistency that goes through this. And I think Joe's comment before was so bang on with this of, we all think as the contractor that we're the hero of the story. And we really need to step back, I think, and understand that the homeowner ultimately doesn't care about us. They care about themselves, and they care about their home and their family and all these things. And so the character that we need to make this story about, and again, whether the story is within your marketing content or within your quote or sales process, the character, the hero of the story needs to be the homeowner. Hence, we put their photo, the photo of their house, on the cover, right? And we start making that story about them. And then we address their problem. And as the guide, as Yoda, we are then able to connect with them and give them that plan and call them to action. So, but if you go back to that previous page there, right, where it's all about understanding, authority, and empathy, and we go back here, we need to understand the character. And then we need to understand the problem, and specifically what they think the problem is. And we'll educate them on what we as experts know the problem to be as well. But with empathy, if we've taken the time to understand, we can connect with the character. And with authority, we can take the time to connect with the problem and give them a plan and walk them through this. And so, if we get down to the real nitty-gritty base of like, what is this concept come down to? The biggest thing is just, who is the hero of the story, and we want to make it about the homeowner. And we need to recognize our role as the guide. And the biggest thing we can do is to, when we're connecting, educating, doing all these things, that we're making it about the homeowner, we're targeting their subconscious. It's just a different way of looking and thinking about that whole experience through there.
Yeah, for sure, Ryan. I'm going to go through the next slides pretty quickly, but you get the point by now. Bad marketing will solve the external problem. Hey, let me sell you a roof. Here's some shingles, right? That's just like basic surface level stuff. Good marketing solves the internal problem. Like, what's someone really, frustrated about? Like, are they nervous about hiring a bad contractor or something? I'm going to go through some examples of this. And then great marketing, think about those commercials, like Super Bowl commercials that really grab you. Like, they're emotional, right? They get to like philosophically, what do you believe? So keep in mind as we go through the next few slides, good, bad, good, and great. The more meaning you provide, the more value that you're going to have in your prospect's mind. Again, go back to thinking about what your clients really want. And the deeper you can get, the more money you're going to make. The bigger problems that we solve, the more money that we make, and the more impact that we have, right? It's all about making money. So go ahead, Ryan. We'll cruise through these external examples in marketing or messaging. Would be like, get a new roof, fix your roof. The dreaded free inspection, free estimate. Just stay away from those, because like everyone in your market, everyone all over the place is offering those, and that's their marketing, right? But that's surface level. We can be better than that. So we'll go to good, internal examples. So this is like digging a little bit deeper. Hey, every time you pull in the driveway, you realize how old your roof looks, right? You want to feel proud of your home or your building. You want to have a secure roof over your family's head. Like we talked about security, protection earlier. Don't be that house. Everyone knows that house in their neighborhood. In my neighborhood, it's actually two houses down. It's like this abandoned thing that the banks like got under foreclosure. Like, you don't want to be that house. And then be a responsible business or property owner. This will go to commercial. Like, hey, if your roof is old and dilapidated, like how responsible is that? And then we can take it a step further and go to the philosophical, like what do people believe? What do they think about when they're laying in bed at night? I want to be proactive. I want to show my wife that I can be proactive and not reactive. Like for once, I want to get this thing solved before it's a major problem. So I want to take care of that. That goes through my head sometimes. I have a responsibility to take care of my home. I want to lead by example, right? If I'm a business owner, property manager, like I want to show that I can solve problems proactively. And if you're solar, this is something that Donald Miller actually uses with a Tesla example. I should do my part to save the environment. Therefore, I'm going to go solar. So those are some things you want to tap into what people are believing, and you're going to make a much better connection.
Yeah. Yeah. If you can get to the depth, Simon Sinek does well with that whole thing of, what's the why, and getting into those brands that go after the why and the depth of that. And again, Apple was the example he used there. So yeah, if you can get to that depth that's powerful communication and marketing as you go through that.
Just a quick example. Not everyone's going to be able to say this, but these guys nailed it. Never pay for a new roof again. Like, that's a value proposition that's super strong. And we're going to share something at the end with you guys. We'll share a doc that you can make a copy and go through an exercise yourselves to be able to implement some of what we're talking about to market like Apple.
Yeah. Number 4, remove risk. So this is something, again, you want to give people confidence and trust. And a lot of the time, especially with contractors, it's like, okay, I'm signing this, but like, shoot, what am I going to get? Like, there feels like a lot of risk because ultimately homeowners don't know like why your company is different or better. And you've got to figure out ways to give them the confidence that you can do this, right? So, here, when you're going through this, a simple warranty document, and I often use this at the end of a job with a project summary report, which we do with our company, but you can give them a sample warranty document and say, hey, just so you know, this is what you're going to get at the end of the job, right? Something this feels official, as that you give them some details on things. You've got somebody that signs it, like you insert the image of their signature. It's great. It's okay. Well, again, to Joe's point before, like, oh, humans like to deal with humans, so you do these things rather than just putting in certain a certain font that looks like a signature. You actually use an image, even if the signature image doesn't look phenomenal. It's like, oh, that's a human, this is great, right? You're trying to do these things to give the homeowner that confidence that they're going to be able to work with you, and you're removing these barriers in their experience as they're going through.
Yep. And in your marketing, you can do the same thing. And a lot of times, like in selling, like it's not about like pushing the prospect to that sale. It's about removing risk. Like, what things are going on in their head? Like, how are they perceiving your company as risky, or perceiving hiring a contractor? What bad experiences that they had in the past? Pretty much everyone's had a bad experience with a contractor. What do they fear? They fear probably making a bad decision, right? And how can you make choosing you a sure bet, as sure of a thing as possible?
Yeah.
So and then how do we remove risk? Social proof. Play to your strengths. If you're a third generation family business, you've been around forever, great. If you got 100 5-star reviews, great. Whatever it is that your strength is, play to that. If you have a 5-star rating as a brand new company like Pedro here on the webinar, then go with that. You have a 5-star rating, even though you only have a handful of reviews. Show your processes, and don't hide behind your logo. Show who you are.
So this is a bit of a continuation here, but we want to be able to prove this, right? Social proof gives us confidence. I look at these days like a restaurant. I go out to eat. I'm going to spend the time and energy to look at reviews, to glance at menus, like to do this stuff, and it's all easy and straightforward for me to do because of how forward-thinking and restaurants are with this stuff, and it's such a competitive space. People can do this with contractors too. We just need to continue to make it easier, and the easier we can make it for them, the more likely it is that they'll ultimately be able to choose us to work with that. We need them to be able to feel confident with that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, nothing new to everyone here. Social proof is huge. Over 90% of consumers consult online reviews prior to making a purchasing decision. So, simple examples I'll just go through real quick.
Oh, shoot, I got this one, man. Here, I'll hit this one. I'll tag it back to you. But, even social proof, this is not difficult to do even in a quote, right? So subtle things on your title page, put in that you're certified. Give them that confidence that there's companies willing to stand behind your work or beside your work there, right? This is one, and this is a recent one that we built for our company. Um, we're giving them testimonials. The strongest thing that you can get is a referral from a neighbor or a family member or a friend. If you can't do that, because you can't do that with everyone, the next strongest thing is to show another human being that is willing to say, Epic Roofing in this case was great, did a phenomenal job. You should have confidence in them. For them to see customers that are willing to go on camera to do that, that's a strong point of social proof in there. In this case, what we did with this is we put a quote from each homeowner below them in case when somebody comes on here, they don't click the link, but we've got a clickable link with all these images where if they click on this, it's going to pull up a video for somebody to be able to watch that homeowner talking about the project and how it went and the experience we provided and how it was so different than anybody else they talked to. And so stuff like this for you to be able to slide into your presentations at the sales level, this is powerful stuff. That this is why your closing rates go up so quickly, is because of all these things combined together.
Yep. And then just a few quick examples on social proof. What pops up when someone Googles your company? Do that exercise. This would be an extreme example. 889 5-star reviews. But what shows up? On the right side in Google, on the left side in the search results, because people are doing their research, even if they are referred to you.
Yeah, 889 5-star reviews. That's amazing. Like, right, as a homeowner, you look at that and it's like, that is unbelievable for them to be able to do that. There's so much confidence that comes from that.
Yeah, I mean, that's not a risky decision to hire these guys, right?
No, exactly.
And then we have this is a website example. Just show your reviews on your website, right? We could talk about how great we are and how we're the best, but like when you have other people talking about that, it carries so much more weight. And then
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Joe.
No, just a couple more examples if you want to go to the next slide.
Yeah.
You don't have to have videos. I would definitely encourage you to focus on getting 3 good testimonials this year. You can use over here, like Moss Roofing is using, just taking the Google review, putting it into a tool like Canva, or just making a quick graphic and making it look nice and professional. You've got the logo, you've got the consistent brand there. Just like Apple, like you can tell like what an Apple product is without even seeing their logo, right? Like we want to connect and make that experience consistent. And then over here, Young Construction video testimonial. Get 3 this year. Make that your goal, and you can use the same ones in every quote. You don't need 100 of them, so don't be intimidated by that. But video testimonials are so powerful.
So we've made it to the end finally, and I know we're a couple minutes away from where we should be finishing here. So Joe, congratulations. We started talking faster, but we made it. We want to take a few minutes here for questions as well. So we will send out a recording of things, and here I'm going to bounce over to the next slide here. If you guys want SumoQuote, it's fast, the type of quotes, and I'll actually take a minute here just to show you a sample quote so you can sort of see the whole thing put together of what it looks like. But feel free to pull out your phone. All of your camera apps work with this stuff now. Just hit that QR code and you can book a demo, or you can go to sumoquote.com or book a call with Joe. There's way more depth and detail we can get into this stuff. We've tried to give you as much as we can packed solid into an hour here. And I'm actually going to go as people are just maybe loading up a couple of questions here. I just want to walk you guys through one quick sample, from that I built using our roofing company's branding here again. So when we're looking at doing this stuff and we're talking about connecting and educating and solving, each of these pages is very intentional with how we do this stuff, right? So, we've got the client's house, we're offering social proof. As we go through this, we're educating, we're explaining the steps of this job and what we're going to do. And this text is going to differ if it's an insurance job versus a retail job or service or commercial. And so, with SumoQuote, it's really easy to save templates and just quickly switch between these things. Here, obviously, we're educating again, we're trying to solve problems, but we're giving them some product options. This is a great one that we use just on giving them the ability to compare contractors, helping them make it easy to see the differences because it can be really difficult for them. And this is that testimonials one that I just walked through. Here the inspection where we're showing them, we're solving problems for them. Here I did a good, better, best in this quote. So I'm giving them a bunch of products in the good. In the better, what I did here was I said includes everything from good, but with the following upgrades. And I talked product upgrades, but really what matters to the homeowner is the advantages, right? No ugly roof. This is going through these and making sure that your salesperson just doesn't just say it, but these things are included visually for the homeowner to see and understand through this is powerful as you do this, right? So we do that on the good, better, best. We've got packages they can select from, additional upgrades they may want to select, product selections, e-signing, everything's built in. When somebody is signing, they're picking colors. So you make it easy for them to look at the color options that they've got. And of course, you want to include your legal in that stuff as well. So that's just a quick example of the style of report. Something like this, I can literally build in under 2 minutes. So just because it looks like it was built by a professional graphic designer doesn't mean it needs to be difficult and slow to build. So just to give you guys a bit of extra context on SumoQuote there, that's the style of report we're talking about. And it's just powerful when it's used and can set your business apart to help you grow there.
I love it.
Yeah. Joe, we're at the top of the hours. Do we have any? It looks like we've got, I see one question here. Any plans on POs, work orders, job costing reports? Yes, Bruce. So right now we just did an integration with Eagle View, really fast and slick. Like I could build something really generic in SumoQuote similar to that, but without the inspection photos in under 60 seconds from my phone standing in front of the house. Once that's been signed, yes, the things that we're building, late Q1 and into Q2 here are going to be hit a button, flip that quote into a work order, hit a button, flip that into a material order. We're integrating with Beacon right away. There's lots of stuff coming up with that. So good question on that from the SumoQuote side.
Hey, Ryan, I'm going to ask one on behalf of a couple of our clients that I posted in our client group earlier this week, and they're asking about Aculinx integration. And I know you had a good answer on that, so I think that's worth sharing.
The Aculinx integration, we all want to continue to build a technology stack because a single piece of technology will never do all the things that we want. From the SumoQuote side, we are looking to integrate with as many as we can. Aculinx is one that they've been a little bit slower to building their integrations, but I think now they're starting to come on a lot stronger with that. So we would be waiting for webhooks and stuff like that from them to be built for us to connect to. Job Nimbus is really the one that we've gone the deepest with to date, and we're planning quite a bit of product with, because our perspective is, they see us as really being the experts in sales quotes, sales presentations, and all things creating that experience between the customer and the contractor. So we're going to be doing some really interesting things with them. So that stuff's coming. But yeah, was that the point that you were looking for me to make there, Joe?
The point I wanted that I was trying to tee you up for is, it might not integrate with Aculinx, but don't let that prevent you from using such a powerful tool that is going to enable you to close more jobs and make more money.
Thank you for making that point for me, Joe. Yes, no, we are building a lot of integration stuff coming up here. So Zapier, we're looking to connect with and stuff like that. I come from the sales side, and ultimately, I think sales is a solution to all kinds of problems that a business has. And so if you can, the example would be for now, and we've got a pile of contractors that use Aculinx and SumoQuote, but for now, because we don't have that direct integration, if you have to do that double entry one time, it's going to take you 2 minutes. If I said to you, hey, next year, let's say your average distance from your office from a home that you're working on is 18 minutes away. And I said, well, this year, let's say, would you be willing to have your average distance that you drive from the office be 20 minutes rather than 18? but it's going to increase your closing rate by 15% or 18%. I think we'd all say, yes, obviously we're going to do that. So yeah, if there is that one point of double entry right now, please don't let it scare you, because the impact overall that we can have, not just in sales, but the speed of this stuff will be far more significant, I think, at the end of the day. Joe, anything else that you were seeing for questions there?
Jeremy was asking about a Zapier or Integromat integration. So that, to give you more flexibility to tie into a whole bunch of different tools. That's your question to
Yeah, I
answer.
know it's coming. Like the Zapier integration is coming for sure. So we're looking to continue to build out that tech stack together, similar to what we've done with Company Cam, Job Nimbus, Eagle View, sort of these market leaders. We're gonna continue to integrate from there. So
Cool.
And I see a question here, Joe, do you offer a program for us that have some understanding of this, but need more help in learning the roofing terms for selling and advertising there?
Oh, okay. I guess I must have missed that question.
That's on
Do we?
the Q&A side rather than the chat side.
Oh, yes, got the other window open. Lauren, definitely very engaged. Thank you. Do you offer a program for us knowing? Yeah, absolutely. I will share that. Well, actually, just hit that. What is that QR code? Snap a picture of that with your phone, or go to contractordynamics.com. So basically, our program is a 10-week done with you training program where we train you, whether you're an owner, whether you're a marketing manager like Lauren, we train you on how to build out content, run ads for roofing, residential, commercial, insurance, retail, doesn't matter. We show you how to put the tools together like what we're talking about today, create that brand experience, combining with direct response marketing, direct response, which is like putting out offers and getting leads. So we like to combine those two. We call it brand response marketing. So that's what we train our clients on. So yeah, if you want to hit that QR code and go check out, that'll take you to a little video of me. So you might want to take a break from me and do it later today after watching us for an hour. But like an 8-minute video of me kind of walking through what that looks like. And then you can book a call on that page if you want to learn some more about that.
Yeah. And Lauren, I see your comment there as well that you're looking for a bit more of the roofing specific content. Joe is Joe is a big deal. So he's generously put his own personal email up there. So that's good to be able to hit. I come from the roofing side as well. So, I spent a decade in roofing and roofing sales and not just the retail, but the insurance side and the complexity of Xactimate and how all these sales processes flow. So feel free to hit my email there as well. I'd be happy to connect and I can go deep on the roofing content side as well. Excuse me. And I can nerd out on all things marketing with you also.
Cool. Yeah, Lauren, I know your client. I thought you were asking just to maybe educate other people, but as a marketing manager, and this is really important, you're a marketing manager in a roofing company, collaborate with the team, right? Because you have the marketing knowledge, the owners, have the roofer goggles on, like Ryan said. Sit down at the same table and go over this stuff, and they'll educate you on how they want to go to market. That's essential, right? If it's siloed in any company where there's marketing over here, it's a department, it's kind of an afterthought, and then the owners and all the roofers are over here, and they're not talking to each other, like that doesn't work. So I would say collaborate, and that's going to help you have much more success with that.
Yeah. Well, Joe, this has been great, man. Thank you so much for taking time with this today. I know you're a busy guy, and to get your level of expertise in this stuff is awesome. So really appreciate you making time for this, and thanks for everybody joining us as well. This has been fun. This was the perfect topic. I love kind of nerding out on this subconscious, brand experience type of stuff. So yeah, I really appreciate people jumping on and engaging with us today through all this stuff.
Yeah, happy to be here. Really excited. I appreciate everyone's engagement. I thought it was really good engagement. And for those of you, give yourself a pat on the back for showing up, because Most people are running around just, putting out fires all day, but you're being intentional about crafting your brand, crafting that brand experience, and building good, solid processes in your business, which is going to serve you forever. So kudos to you, and reach out to us with any questions.
Awesome. Okay, thanks so much. We're going to wrap it up there. Have a great day, everyone. All the best in 2021, and hopefully we will get to connect with you soon.